So in last week's tutorial, we learned all about text in HTML. In this week's tutorial, you'll learn all about styling text in CSS. Feel free to follow along by opening your favorite code editor. Before we get started, be sure to check out my blog post for a copy of the HTML and CSS code. There's a link in the description box below. Now let's get started. In CSS, there's a variety of properties that can be used to change the appearance of text. Remember that the following CSS properties apply to the text within the elements we specified in our HTML code. Before we make our text all fancy, we first need to tell the browser what typeface we want to use in the first place. We need to specify typefaces before anything else. To do this, we use the font family property. The value of the font family property is the name of the typeface you want to use, like Arial, Verdana, or Helvetica. In order for fonts to be displayed on your website for many users, the font specified must be installed on the user's computer. You can use more than one font by making a list separated with commas so that if the user doesn't have the first font installed, their browser can display the other fonts listed as alternatives. Fonts with more than one word like Courier New or Times New Roman must be put inside double quotes. Once we specify the typeface, we can now use other properties to style the font. The font size property is pretty self-explanatory. It specifies the size of the font. There are 3 common ways you can specify the size of a font: by using pixels, percentages, and ems. Pixels is a precise size measurement and is commonly used for font sizes. This is written by writing the number of pixels followed by the letters px. Percentages are commonly based on the default size of text in browsers, which is 16 pixels. Therefore, a font size set to 50% would be the equivalent of 8 pixels, and a font size set to 75% would be equivalent to 12 pixels. Lastly, ems is a bit of an abstract concept, but generally 1 em equals 16 pixels, which again is the default font size in most browsers. If the font size for the entire site is set to be 12 pixels by default, then 1 em will equal 12 pixels, 2 em would equal 24 pixels, and so on. Both percentages and ems are commonly used in responsive web design, but we'll get into that in another video. After you've set the size of the font, you can specify the weight of the font. Font weights are commonly either bold or normal. The line height property adjusts the vertical gap between lines of text. This space is referred to as leading. To control the alignment of text, use the text align property. By using the text transform property, you can change the text to uppercase, lowercase, or to capitalize, which capitalizes the first letter of each word. In CSS3, we can now add drop shadows to text using the text shadow property. The values in this property is made up of 3 lengths and a color. The first value indicates how far to the left or right the shadow will be. The second value indicates the distance from the top or bottom, and the third value indicates the amount of blur to the shadow you wish your text to have. The font style allows you to make the font italic, oblique, or normal. You can also indent the first line of text using the text indent property. The amount you want to indent the text is usually given in pixels or ems. The property letter spacing adjusts the spacing between each individual letter. This is referred to as kerning. The word spacing property adjusts the spacing between each word in a paragraph. You wouldn't need to use the word spacing property too often. When specifying the value of these properties, it should be in ems. The text decoration property allows you to specify if you want your text to have an underline, overline, line through, or none, which removes any decoration already applied to the text. Now, we're almost done learning about all the properties you can apply to style your text in CSS. But before we wrap up, I want to introduce you to Swaddle elements and Swaddle classes. Swaddle elements essentially acts like there's an extra element in the code. A good example of this is both the first letter Swaddle element, which styles the first letter in a paragraph, and the first line Swaddle element that styles the first line of a paragraph. Swaddle elements and Swaddle classes are written at the end of the selector, like this. Swaddle classes, like link and visited, are commonly seen when styling links. The Swaddle class link styles links that have not been clicked on or visited. The Swaddle class visited styles the look of a link that has been visited. Other Swaddle classes like hover, active, and focus also change the appearance of elements when a user is interacting with them. Hover affects the look of an element when a user's mouse is hovering over it. Active affects the look of an element when the element has been clicked. Lastly, focus can be used to indicate the element is being focused on. For example, that moment when you're ready to begin typing a comment in the comment box below. That change in activity to the element indicates focus has been applied to the element. Well, that was a lot of things to learn, but now you're a pro at styling text using CSS. You've learned about the many elements, properties, Swaddle elements, and Swaddle classes used when styling text in CSS3. Now go ahead and apply your new knowledge on your personal web development projects. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and write a comment below to let me know if you have any ideas or suggestions for future videos. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy these videos, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in next week's video.